Hello everyone, my name is Peter Dale. I'm on the board of directors of Heart for Change here in Bogota, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the importance of partnerships. Partnerships that you're going to have, partnerships that Heart for Change Colombia Volunteer Program has, and how these are essential in the success of the whole program. So, partnerships. So, for Heart for Change as an organization, and for you to be successful as a fellow, it's really all about having successful partnerships and relationships. And it's important to know before you get here that you're not going to be on your own. And that's what we're going to be showing you in this brief presentation. How you're going to be working with different people, with different organizations during your stay here in Colombia. So there's a lot of different partnerships and relationships. Perhaps the most important one, and the one we're going to talk about a little bit more today, is partnership and relationship with the Ministry of Education. So you see the logo at the top, Ministerio de Educación, that's the Ministry of Education. Heart for Change, you as fellows, so that triangle at the top is obviously the key group of partnerships, but there are also other partner organizations that we're going to talk about, and we're also going to talk about other partners, allies, organizations, recruitment partners, and all the different people that you're going to be working with during your time in Colombia. So we will start with perhaps the most important partner for you, because Heart for Change is the organization that's going to be hiring you in the first place, that's going to be paying you every month, that's going to be looking after you, that's going to be responsible for you. So Heart for Change is going to be very, very important for in your life here in Colombia. I was part of the Heart for Change when it started around 5 years ago. Heart for Change started here in Bogota with the mission of supporting organizations and social projects in Colombia through programs of volunteer work. So that volunteer work has been in many different areas with volunteers from many different countries and with alliances and partners, more than 30 of them, amongst non-profits and governments. So the whole history of Heart for Change has been about working in partnership. The key ones are the partners who we bring to Colombia and the partners who we work with in Colombia. So Heart for Change is a facilitator of experiences, new experiences for volunteers from all around the world. Now, we're going to talk much more about one key partnership because you're going to be in Colombia to work for a specific program. So that program is with the Ministry of Education, known as the Ministerio de Educación Nacional, MEN for short. One of its key aims is to increase bilingualism in schools with a program that you're involved in, which is called Foreign Fellows, to co-teach and coach English as a foreign language. Now, the Ministry of Education is responsible for the strategic development of education in Colombia. It's facing many challenges in terms of English teaching in schools. The quality has been very poor in recent years. So the result is that kids are graduating from high school with very, very little English. One of the key goals of the government in general is, if it wants to grow as an economic nation, if it wants to get more foreign investment in the country, is to make sure that people, executives, people who work in business and commerce speak English, because to do business, you have to speak English. So the bilingualism has become a key issue in schools. And one of the programs where most money is being invested is the program which is called English Teaching Fellowship. So this started in January 2015. Heart for Change, together with the Ministry of Education, created this program in January to help to support English classes in state schools throughout the country with the mode of co-teaching or English language teaching assistance. Now, the first group of fellows or volunteers arrived in Colombia in January 2015 and had 2 weeks training and went out to teach in cities throughout Colombia, with the exception of Bogota, and were working with mainly 16 to 18-year-old children in state schools alongside a co-teacher. So this is a major investment for Colombia. For the first time, the Ministry of Education has a higher budget than defense. This is in a country that's been leading a civil war for the last 50 years and has been investing huge amounts of money in defense spending. But now, in this government, there's more money being spent in education than in defense. So all eyes are on this teaching fellowship program. The Ministry of Education, the government itself, the whole country wants this program to be successful. It wants to have results in terms of kids speaking better English, more children speaking English, more children being exposed to different cultures from the teaching assistants. The fellows are coming from all over the world. So you guys who are coming to Colombia have a huge responsibility, huge challenge to take on this program that started with 150, and in June you'll be amongst 200 more fellows coming to the program, so it's going to be more than twice as big as it was in January. So you're going to be part of this big challenge to make sure that this big partnership between Ministry of Education, Heart for Change, and you, the fellows, is successful. So as part of your responsibility, you have to remember you're not just a teacher or a co-teacher in the classroom. You're an ambassador for Heart for Change. You're an ambassador for the Ministry of Education. And you're an ambassador for your own country. So you're taking on a big responsibility. Heart for Change is a very serious, professional, respected organization that's been growing over the last 5 years. And because of its past track record, it was given the huge responsibility of taking on this program for the Ministry of Education. It was selected amongst other organizations to take on responsibility for training, for the logistics, for helping, looking after more than 350 fellows, volunteers who are going to be living all around the country. You're also going to be ambassadors for the Ministry of Education, because you're going to arrive in schools and you're going to be the representatives of the Ministry of Education's program. So they're going to be looking to you to do a serious, professional, reliable job in the classroom. And there's going to be a lot of follow-up. There's going to be a lot of visits to the classrooms. There's going to be a lot of measurement to see how you're doing. There's going to be a lot of conversations with you to find out what you're thinking, feeling about the program. And you've got to remember, and this is the other part of your responsibility, you're ambassadors for your own country. So the great thing about this program is that in January, we had fellows from more than 30 different countries around the world. This June, we're probably going to have fellows from even more different countries. So this is a wonderful chance to present the best of your country in a country like Colombia. You're going to get a marvelous reception because the kids in all these different schools have had very little exposure to people from different countries. So it's possible you'll be the first ever person from your country ever to talk and meet with these kids and with these teachers in the schools. So just imagine that experience. Part of the program, the main part of the program is obviously improving their English language skills, listening, writing, speaking, etc. But another part of the program is to expose them to different cultures. So when you're teaching, talk to them about your country, talk to them about your cultures, because that's going to enhance the experience for these kids. So another key partnership and the organization that you're going to meet right at the beginning of your time in Colombia is an organization called UNICA. This is the organization that's been contracted to help you teach in the Colombian classrooms. UNICA is a university, specialist university that is dedicated to English teacher training. It's the only one of its kind in Colombia. It's a university program which provides teacher training and direct assistance for the fellows within the HFC program. So during orientation, you receive a 2-week intensive preparation program. And then after that's finished, the UNICA teachers will continue to assess your transition into the schools and will also always be available to help you out throughout the teaching process. Additionally, UNICA, along with the Ministry of Education, will conduct quarterly regional meetings where fellows, co-teachers and their mentors all gather together to brainstorm new ideas and share effective strategies to help enhance your teaching experience. So you're going to meet a group of UNICA specialists within the first 2 weeks. You're also going to meet the Ministry of Education people who are responsible for the program, because it's all about teamwork. UNICA don't work by themselves. They work with Heart for Change, they work with the ministry, and they work with you. So again, it's all about partnership work. Now, what we could call the most important partners, or your most important partners in your day-to-day work, are the regional coordinators. Now there you just see some of the regional coordinators who've been working since January. Just to give you a bit of background, those regional coordinators, they all arrived in Colombia a year ago. They came as fellows of volunteers like you. They were working in a similar program to the Ministry of Education program. It was in a program run by the SENA. I'll talk about the SENA in a few minutes. And they all were volunteer teachers. Many of them didn't speak a word of Spanish when they got to Colombia, but in their first 6 weeks of work, they developed contacts, they developed confidence in speaking Spanish, they did a great job as a teacher, and they showed lots of leadership skills. So when that program last year was 60 people. So in January, when we had a program of 150 people, we selected from those volunteers 10 different regional coordinators to work in the main cities around the country. So those are just some of the regional coordinators who were selected to work in January. And they've done a great job. And this group here will be continuing for the rest of the year. And there'll also be some new regional coordinators because we have more fellows working in the second half of the year. So who are these regional coordinators? So basically the bilingual professionals who've had a successful transition to Colombia and have stood out in the program. And they're not only stood out, but they've shown a desire to stay on in Colombia. They're hired to be in charge of the fellows placed in a specific region in Colombia. So for example, the girl, the second from the left, she's in Cartagena, and she's responsible for volunteers in Cartagena and some in a nearby city called Barranquilla. They are responsible for all the aspects of the fellows, all the different aspects of your life. So this could be logistics, adaptation, monitoring, education, communications, safety. All these different things are part of the regional coordinator's responsibilities. And they serve as a liaison between mentors, principals, co-teachers, secretaries of education, the National Ministry of Education, UNICA, and Heart for Change. So basically, they're your first point of contact for any kind of question, concern, any worry you have. It might be about your housing, about transport, about security, about your teaching. They're always available to help. So they'll meet up with you personally and talk through the problem, look for solutions, and they're experienced professionals. So they're either coordinators who have already been working for 6 months, or they're people who've been selected as being the best leaders within the current group. So if you have ambitions to stay on in Colombia beyond your first contract period, if you show the right kind of leadership qualities, the right kind of passion, the right kind of Spanish speaking skills, you could be selected to be a regional coordinator in the future. And the regional coordinators get paid a monthly salary rather than just the money that you get to cover your accommodation and other living expenses. So they're on a reasonable local salary here in Colombia, and they're very happy with their work, and most of them want to continue to do it. So your number one partner, the regional coordinator. But every day you've got other relationships to cultivate and nurture. So starting with your fellow fellows. You're not working in isolation. You're going to be, wherever you're working, you're going to have a group of people in your town or city. And your co-workers, your fellows, can be one of the best resources for your classroom planning, regional traveling, and general tips and advice, especially the current groups of fellows who already have several months' experience here in Colombia. So they're a kind of extension to the regional coordinators. The regional coordinators are obviously experts. It's their job. They're leaders. They've spent more time in Colombia. But there are many fellows who've already been living and working here in the same job that you're going to be doing for the last 6 months. So what a wonderful resource for you. The current group are all very friendly and will be welcoming you to your new cities upon your arrival. Don't be afraid to reach out to contact them, but don't forget to buy them a drink. They're going to be people from many, many different cultures, many different cities, and they're all going to share their experiences in their first 6 months here. So that's a hugely valuable input for you, especially when you're finding your feet in the first few weeks and beyond that. So there are people who have different passions. Some will be dancing, some will be walking, some will be playing sports. There's lots of different activities in the cities and towns that you're going to, and the fellow workers will be great sources of information to help you. Another key figure within your daily life is going to be a mentor. A mentor is a person in your school he or she is in charge of helping you settle into your host school. And then beyond the beginning, they will continue to assist your integration into the English department's goals and lesson planning. So again, it's important to establish a positive relationship with these people from the beginning. Not all mentors are the same. Some may be friendlier than others, but you've got to make those relationships work. You're the visitor, you're the guest. It's down to you to make a good working relationship with the mentors, and even more importantly, with the co-teachers. Co-teacher, it's a very important word. Co means you're going to share, you're going to work together in all different respects. So these are the individuals who you'll be assisting and co-teaching with in the classroom. So be very diplomatic, positive, and patient when developing these relationships. Some people might be worried about them. Some people might be frightened of the foreigners coming into the classroom. Many of them will be enthusiastic and passionate. You're going to find all different kinds of co-teachers. So it's down to you to make these relationships work. For the most part, the teachers will be very happy to have you in the classroom. You must try to have an open mind with their teaching styles and be patient on working your way into lesson planning for their classes. The idea is to match two big positives. They're teachers who've got all the experience in the world of managing the classroom, of teaching, the teaching environment, of working with these Colombian students. You guys in general haven't got that teaching experience, but you've got the English language skills, and that is key to help them. What you're going to find is their level of English is going to be very varied. You've got to be very respectful. You might find that they're really struggling with the English language. So you've got to find a way of bringing in your skills, your English language skills, without criticizing directly or indirectly the teacher's skills. If they mispronounce something, if they make a big mistake, you have to manage that in a very prudent way, a very diplomatic way. So these are the key things that you've got to remember when you're working with a co-teacher. The idea is that you've got a goal together, which is to improve the students' standard of English. We've had great results over the first 6 months, tangible results. So we want to extend this. We want to learn from what we've done in the first 6 months. And you're going to get the advantage is that the learning from the first 6 months will be fed into your training through UNICA and the ministry, because they've seen things that were done wrong or which could be done better. So they're going to help you do it right from the beginning. So you've got a great opportunity of being the second wave of co-teachers coming into this program. Students, obviously, they're the center of the whole program. They're the reason why for this program. And they should be a source of great delight, experience for you. Most of them will be very keen to have, excited to have the foreign teachers, co-teachers in their classroom. You've got to take advantage of that enthusiasm. You've got to channel that enthusiasm into getting them to speak. They'll be very shy at first. They'll be giggling. They won't know what to say. Their level of English in general will be very low. So you've got to try and channel that enthusiasm into speaking, understanding English over the 6 months. You can, outside the classroom, you could have conversations with them. You could play sports with them. There's lots of things you can do in a proactive way to make sure that your experience and their experience of this program is very, very positive. You're working within an institution, which is a school. As we said before, this program is paid for by the Ministry of Education. The Colombian system works in that it's regionalized and there are secretaries of education in each region. So that's another partnership. The ministry is sending the strategy, is sending the co-teachers, but the local secretaries of education are responsible for their education in their region. And each school is with reports to that regional operation. So you've got to work with the principals, you've got to work with the other teachers, you've got to work as a team. You may find that some teachers who don't understand the program might think you're taking away their jobs. You've got to explain that that's not the case. We're trying to help them become better teachers. We're part of a short to medium term solution to help accelerate bilingualism in the country, but in no way are we a threat to their jobs. All right, to close, we're just going to talk briefly about other partnerships that Heart for Change has had. SENA is the main program from 2014. This is an apprenticeship program throughout the country. It allows kids or young people from 18 to 30 mostly to have free training in mostly technical subjects that could be mechanics, tourism, call centers, beauty salons, technical training. And Heart for Change, together with the SENA, sent 60 different teachers into SENA centers throughout the country in a very successful operation, very successful program last year. And it was on the base of the results of that program that Heart for Change was given the chance to work with the Ministry of Education in 2015. The Colegio de Estudios Superiores de Administración is a business school in Bogotá, which is kindly offered to offer free Spanish classes to Heart for Change fellows and volunteers, and leadership programs, and we're working with them on other partnership programs throughout the country. St. Peter's International College is a foundation year program to prepare students to go and study in the United Kingdom, and has been a partner in English language programs with Heart for Change. The host organizations these are just some of them, some of the more than 30 organizations who've worked with Heart for Change to offer volunteer opportunities in mainly social projects for volunteers throughout the world. I'll just highlight a couple of them. FANA on the left is an adoption center which receives abandoned babies or young children and keeps them and then helps find adoption opportunities both in Colombia and internationally. So Heart for Change volunteers have worked in the FANA operation. Colombianitos is a program that through sport helps children from low-income backgrounds, threatened backgrounds to progress, learn skills, not just sports skills, but team working skills. And our volunteers have worked in Colombianitos. Mundo Amazónico is a partner that we have in the Amazon jungle down in Leticia, and we've had various programs running with them. Many of you will have come to Colombia thanks to some of these recruitment partners. So their objective is to help us recruit high quality volunteers from throughout the world, and they've been very successful in getting quantity and quality of people into our programs. So that's a short introduction to the roles of partnerships and partners and relationships in the program. We'd like to welcome you to Colombia, to your work as a fellow, co-teacher and partner in this wonderful program. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you enjoy these and many other wonderful partnerships. And I'm sure you're going to create lasting relationships with many, many different people, Colombians, fellows, other international visitors throughout the country. Thanks for coming and enjoy your time here.